Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave. Welcome back to the wee hours where I suffer from periodic bouts of insomnia and play games to pass the time. We are back with Final Fantasy Classics, and this time we are doing Island of the Lizard King. This one is brand new to me. I never did this one as a young lad, so this will be as much a surprise to me as it is anyone else. But standard Fighting Fantasy Classic rules apply. We will, of course, be doing this on Adventure Mode, and all decisions are final, which is why we've never beaten one of these yet, because we're not cheating. But hope springs eternal. Let's see what will happen with Final Fantasy Classics Island of the Lizard King. And, of course, we start with our stats. Let's roll our starting stamina. Oh, not bad. Not bad. A 9, base stamina of 21. Not a bad beginning. Let's see what our skill is. This is where the real number is. Okay, a 10. Could be a lot worse than that. Could be a lot worse. I'm okay with a 10. Let's see what we're going to get for luck. Oh, nice luck roll there. A 12. All right, those are some good starting stats. I'm already feeling good about Island of the Lizard King, which means it will probably end horribly. And we have to choose a potion, and I think it's got to be Potion of Strength. It's always got to be Potion of Strength, because we want to be able to heal. So, yes, Potion of Strength, please. Oh, and we have adventurer's equipment to prepare. You begin your adventure with a sword, leather armor, and a backpack with space for provisions and any treasures you may come across on your journey. Rationing your provisions is a key to a successful adventure. Yes, I know it is. I'm going to breeze past a lot of this because this is fairly standard Final Fantasy stuff here. We have readied our equipment. We are ready to begin. Oyster Bay is a quiet fishing village some 60 miles down the coast from the notorious Port Blacksand, ironically where we just came from in City of Thieves, where we failed miserably. But here we are, we're back, and we're 60 miles away in Oyster Bay. Because it is the end of a long peninsula reached only by a steep and winding path, the fisherfolk are left to lead a simple but content life, away from the monsters and sorcery of the hinterland. Journeying south from Fang, you decide that you could do with a few days' rest, and knowing no more peaceful place than Oyster Bay, you urge your horse towards the coast. Besides, an old adventuring friend of yours called Mungo lives there now, and it's been years since you last saw him. 2 days later, you arrive at the edge of the cliffs overlooking Oyster Bay. It's a beautiful, sunny morning, and everything looks tranquil below. Nothing seems to have changed. The cluster of stone cottages nestles between the foot of the cliffs and the jetty, where a dozen fishing boats lie at anchor. You jump off your horse and walk it down the winding path to the village. The first people you see are a group of crying villagers. As you approach them, several of them step out of a cottage and run towards you. One of the four is your old friend Mungo. His weather-beaten face is full of anger. He looks surprised to see you, but wastes no time with words of welcome. He recounts the sad events that have befallen the village. Having no gold or material wealth, the people of Oyster Bay thought themselves safe from raiders attacking their village. But several weeks ago, while most of the men were out at sea, the lizard men of Fire Island landed their boats in Oyster Bay and kidnapped several young villagers. Mungo believes that they are now enslaved on Fire Island and working in chain gangs in the gold mines. Since the kidnapping, 2 people were left to guard the village while the rest went out to fish. Despite this, the lizard man attacked again this very morning, overpowering the guards and taking away more villagers. Mungo tells you that he's about to set sail for Fire Island alone, because the other fishermen are too scared to set foot on the island. He stares at you in silence until you smile and say that you will aid him in his quest. He slaps you on the back and shakes your hand in gratitude. For the moment, the poor fishing folk forget their grief and crowd round you, eager to thank you. Mungo then invites you to dine with him and rest a while, as the voyage to Fire Island will take several hours. Over a delicious feast of boiled lobster and salad, you discuss your plans. Mungo tells you that he does not think that the humans live on Fire Island any longer, but his knowledge is fairly limited. These are just rumors that pass between fishermen from other coastal villages. However, it is known that Fire Island used to be a prison colony, guarded by a tribe of paid lizard men. This was a rather futile attempt by Prince Olaf to rid his land of undesirable characters. The good prince soon learned that it would have been simpler to put his lawful citizens on Fire Island and leave the evildoers on the mainland. There were just too many of them. He gave up his attempt and abandoned the prison colony. When the lizard men received no pay, they took their vengeance out on the prisoners, and the island became a place of terror ruled by a lizard man prison guard who proclaimed himself king. The prisoners were forced to dig mines in the hope of finding gold for the Lizard King. They were underfed and ill-treated, and many died. That is presumably why the Lizard King is sending out his men to find new slaves. It is known that in order to assert his authority, the Lizard King began practicing dark magic. He also started genetic experiments in an attempt to breed an invincible race of lizard men. Most of the experiments went wrong. Grotesque mutants were created, and some of the harmful potions found their way into the water drains with terrible consequences. Okay, so don't drink the water on Lizard Island is what I'm hearing here. The local flora and fauna were affected, with the result that man-eating plants developed and giant beasts evolved. A few of the prisoners managed to escape the island on rafts and were picked up by fishermen, but what has happened in the last few years, nobody knows. Fire Island has been almost forgotten until the recent raids. Success in your quest to assassinate the Lizard King and rescue the kidnapped victims is doubtful, but you must try. You stand up and walk down the jetty with Mungo, stepping aboard his small fishing boat. In sight of cheering villagers, you untie the boat and push out to sea, wondering if you will ever return. Mungo's years with the fishermen of Oyster Bay have made him a skillful boatman. He swiftly hoists the sail of the small boat and sets a course due west across the silvery blue sea. The land soon recedes into the distance, and you sit back on the deck, relaxing in the afternoon sunshine. From the stern, you hear merry whistling, the creak of the rudder, and Mungo occasionally calling out to a seabird passing overhead. Think about the good times you used to have with Mungo, his constant cheerful nature and willingness to help people in need. You find it difficult to believe that so much evil exists in the land where live the likes of Mungo. As the hours drift by, you talk and laugh, trying to ignore the dangers ahead. Mungo is always one to tell a tale, and he is now telling you about his father and how he used to work in a traveling circus. "He was a big man, big as a mountain," laughs Mungo, "and he would do just about anything for a paying crowd. Wrestle trolls, have elephants stand on him, even let a killer bee sting him. He was a tough old customer, but he finally met his match in the north. The circus was in Fang, one of the attractions during the festivities surrounding the Trial of Champions, and my father decided on a whim to enter. He walked into Death Trap Dungeon, and alas, was never seen again. He was really too old for such an ordeal, although there was no telling him that, but at least he tried." Just as Mungo is about to tell you his next tale, he jumps up and shouts, "Land ahoy!" at the top of his voice, as though he were yelling the news to the crew of a galleon. You look to where he is pointing and see Fire Island in the distance. The island sits on the sea like a green cushion with a jagged mountain protruding from it. Smoke gently curls up from its top, a volcano's fuming anger waiting to explode. Mungo steers the boat towards a small inlet at the eastern tip of the island, hoping that it will remain concealed between the high rocks. You both put on your backpacks and clamber out of the boat to begin your quest to find the Lizard King. How? Do we want to go left and scramble around the rocks, or go right and explore the inlet? Well, let's find out where we are and what's going on. Let's explore the inlet. You soon reach the beach, but duck back behind the rocks when you see what is happening on it. A rowing boat has been dragged on the beach, obviously by the six pirates who are standing around a large chest. You look at Mungo and discuss what to do. I think attacking the pirates sounds like a terrible idea, Mungo. Just right out of the gate, Mungo. There's 2 of them and 6 of us, and they're pirates, and we're not. I think we should return and explore the beach cove instead. It does not take you long to reach the beach, which is small and covered with golden sand. A few rocks jut into the sea, and at the far end of the beach you see a tiny hut made of white stone. The roof is collapsed and the hut looks deserted. There are some long tracks in the sand crisscrossing the beach. I think we should definitely explore the hut, because, pirates are the other way, so let's walk across the beach to the hut. Oh dear, this can't be good. You're about halfway across the beach when suddenly a large mound of sand by the sea's edge starts to rise into the air. Then you see 6 large, spiny legs and a pair of pincers, and as the sand slides off its huge shells, your eyes widen at the daunting sight of a giant crab before you. It scuttles across the sand, picking up Mungo with one of its pincers. Mungo cries out in pain, unable to free himself from the vice-like grip. Do we wish to help Mungo, or would we rather run in the stone hut? Oh, wow, that's dark. Yeah, Mungo, you're on your own. Good luck with the giant crab. Yeah, we'll help Mungo. We'll totally help Mungo. You run at the giant crab with your sword drawn. It drops Mungo into the sand in order to attack you with both pincers. You must fight. All right, what's he got? Oh, he's nothing for stamina, but I think we'll be okay. Is Mungo going to help? I'd like it if Mungo helped with this. Okay, that's a draw. That's fine. Okay, good. That's so far so good. That looks like a real good roll. I think we've got him on that one. Yep, we sure do. 1 hit to the giant crab. Yes. Keep fighting the giant crab. I think we've got him on skill. He's just going to take a while to wear down on stamina. Okay, I think... Oh, yes, do that. No, that's a draw. That's bad. That's no good against the giant crab. Keep fighting it. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh, that's not my best roll there, but it's good enough. That's good enough. Also not my best roll. Oh, that's a hit to me. All right, that's a hit to me. That's fine. It's all going to be fine. It's just a giant crab. It's not going to kill us right out of the gate. I've said that before. We all remember what happened in Caverns of the Snow Witch. Okay, but we are triumphant. You're welcome, Mongo. You're welcome. Hope we get a reward from you. Kneeling down beside the crushed body of Mongo. Oh dear, Mongo's not good. You gently lift his head in your arms. His eyes open a little, and he manages half a smile despite his agony. In a whisper, he says, "Well, me old friend, it's the end of the road for me. A lot of use I've been." Yeah, no kidding, Mongo. You were largely useless there. "Make sure you get the Lizard King for me, won't you?" And his eyes close, and he slumps down dead. Well, Mungo's done. You bury him on the beach near the cliff, marking the grave with his sword skewered into the sand. More determined than ever, you set off on your quest and walk to the stone hut. There better be something real good in this stone hut. The abandoned hut is littered with broken furniture, smashed pottery, and a few bits of torn clothing. You kick away a dirty rug and see the handle of a trap door in the floorboards. Well, absolutely we're going into the trap door. You pull on the handle and lift up the trapdoor. In a small compartment, you see a wooden box, which you lift out and place on the floor. The lid is covered with candle wax. I absolutely wish to open the box. The lid lifts up easily, and inside you find a corked earthenware jug and a note which reads, "Many years ago, I came to Fire Island for peace and solitude, but since the lizard men have dwelt here, such an existence is no longer possible. I have now returned to the mainland. Many of the plants and bushes here are poisonous. A scratch can kill you. Drink my potion from this jug, and you will come to no harm. I wish you well for whatever reason you are here. Farewell, Baskin." Okay, are we going to drink the mysterious stranger's unnamed potion, or are we going to leave the hut immediately? I'm just feeling Caverns of the Snow Witch all over again, and we're just going to be immediately killed 12 minutes in, but I'm going to drink the liquid. I don't see anything. I think that's a very elaborate trap for someone to set up when, just a spear through the face would do the job. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drink the liquid. I'm going to, for some unknown reason, trust the stranger. The liquid tastes of aniseed and is milky in color. You gulp it down but feel no effects and can only presume that it will protect you on the journey ahead. You put down the jug and leave the hut. Behind the hut, you see a narrow goat track leading up the side of the cliff. You wend your way up it and are quite exhausted by the time you reach the top. You take a swig of water from your flask and realize that water shortage could be a problem for you on this island. Looking west, you see the daunting sight of the sleeping volcano standing above the trees, but no sign of life, although you can certainly hear it, a cacophony of bird and insect noise. With the light quickly fading, you decide to camp for the night behind some rocks. You do not sleep very well and are awake at first light, eager to set off. You decide to head directly into the trees. The undergrowth between the trees is dense, plants with long or broad leaves, some with spiny tips, vines, creepers, fungi, roots, and flowers of all sizes, shapes, and colors, fighting for light and space in the humid jungle thicket. You have to use your sword to cut your way through it. It's a long and slow business. Shall we sit down and rest at the base of a great tree, or continue hacking on our way southwest? Let's rest for a bit and see what happens. A sweet smell floats down from the upper foliage of the tree, which makes you feel relaxed and drowsy. As your eyelids drop, you do not see a thick vine lower itself down from the branches above. It silently wraps itself around your neck and starts to squeeze. You awaken choking and try to grasp your sword, which is lying by your feet. Let's test our luck. I think our luck is... yeah, we're good. We're good. We're not going to do any better with luck. We've got the best luck we can have, and we are indeed lucky. You stretch out, and your fingertips just manage to reach your sword. By now, you cannot breathe, and your face is crimson with the veins bulging in your neck. You desperately hack at the vine until you cut through it and roll away out of its lethal range. You cough and rub your neck and watch the hideous vine drip purple sap. Although you're lucky to have escaped the clutches of the carnivorous tree, you have not escaped injury. Lose 1 skill point and 2 stamina points. Am I still alive? I am. Although still weary, you decided it is better to keep on the move. As you push your way slowly through the undergrowth, the hairs on the back of your neck start to prickle and you feel that you are being watched. You stand back, sword ready, watching the leaves for any sign of movement. Then 3 large men with sharpened teeth step into view, each wearing only a crude loincloth. They are armed with stone clubs and long spears, but you are more alarmed to see that each wears a belt of shrunken human heads. The headhunters start to argue about who should kill you and earn the right to wear your head on his belt. Finally, one of them steps forward. Well, here we go again. We're fighting. Okay, they're pretty low skill. I'm pretty good. I wish we hadn't lost that skill point, but there it is. We did. One hit to them. All right, good start. Good start. I think that's a solid hit right there. Yep. Another hit to them. Are we going to go through all three of these guys? Because that's going to get a little tedious. That's a draw. That's okay. That seems like a good hit there. Yep. Okay, he's down. And now we got to go to the second one. Okay, he's a little more skilled, but has the same stamina. Again, I think we'll be largely okay with this. So far, so good. That seems like a solid roll right there. Yep, another good one. And I think that's a good roll. What? Why do the dice keep flipping? I'm not okay with that. Okay, third headhunter. No surprise there. He's got a teensy bit more stamina. Okay. I think we'll be okay. We can take these guys. This is not Caverns of the Snow Witch. Yet. Come on. Come on. What are the dice doing? The dice are just flipping around. Okay. Not sure if there's some unknown mechanic that I'm not aware of. But we're hitting him. That's good enough. Wouldn't kill us to take a potion or eat some provisions after this. Okay, another hit to him. One more should do the trick. That's a very solid roll right there. Alright, we got him. And we won. The headhunters have no items of equipment on them, but they have a hide bag containing bananas and coconuts. You save your own provisions and eat the headhunter's food. Gain 1 stamina point. Good, that's exactly what I wanted. You wonder if their village is nearby and decide to climb a tree to get a better view. From the top you see smoke rising not far away in the southwest, perhaps from a village. Directly west you see the trees gradually thin out, and away in the far northwest you see a daunting shape of a volcano. You climb down from the tree and plan which way to head. Go southwest or northwest in order to circumvent the smoke. That's probably a good move. Let's not pile into choking smoke. Let's do that. You struggle on through the dense jungle and suddenly stumble over a human skeleton. The maggots and insects have long since devoured the flesh, but the clothing looks like that of a prisoner who must have tried to escape. You wonder how he or she died. There's a hand axe and some rope lying by the prisoner, which you decide to take before continuing northwest. Well, let's hope that's going to come in handy. Being very wary of the vegetation, you stay alert, constantly looking about. Halfway up a tree to your left, you see a crude platform and a vine hanging down from it. Well, I think we should climb up the platform and investigate that, because that's worked out well in every single other fighting fantasy we've done. Whenever we have to climb something and look in somebody's hut, we died. But you know what? Hope springs eternal. Let's try it again. You've climbed about halfway up the vine when you see a head pop out over the edge of the platform. Of course we do. Of course we do. It belongs to an old man with gray hair who glares down at you looking very angry. "Go away!" he cries, "or you'll be sorry!" If you wish to continue climbing the vine, I do wish... You know what? Let's just climb everything in fighting fantasy. Let's continue climbing the vine. As you continue your climb, the old man jumps into defensive action. A barrage of coconuts is hurled down at you, and although you tell him that you mean no harm, he continues throwing down whatever is to hand, shrieking, "Go away!" at the top of his voice. By the time you reach the platform, you have a few painful lumps on your head, losing 1 stamina point. Well, we just got a stamina point, so neutral, net loss, net 0, net neutral. Anyway, gained a stamina, lost a stamina. That's the point of this story. Now you see the man at the far side of the sheltered platform standing nervously with a bamboo pole in his hand, wearing nothing but canvas shorts. You offer him some of our provisions. Well, he just threw all his provisions at us. I don't know why I'm going to give him mine. Leave him alone and continue northwest through the undergrowth, or step on the platform and pull his bamboo pole away from him. Let's try and be nice to him. He's clearly insane. The man's eyes light up at the mention of food. He puts down his pole and beckons you to sit down. As he devours your offerings, you lose 1 portion of your provisions. You tell him of your quest. He tells you that he was once a thief on the mainland who was caught and sentenced by Prince Olaf to 5 years' imprisonment on Fire Island. After the lizard men began their rule of the island, he was forced to work in the gold mines. One day, however, he managed to escape and has lived in hiding in the jungle ever since. He thinks he is too old to brave a journey by raft to the mainland and is happy enough to live in his tree den. You ask him if he has any information which may be of use to you, and he replies that he will willingly tell you all he knows in exchange for some more food. Yeah, I'm going to take all the info I can get at this point, so I will give him another portion of provisions. Oh, we've got a map. The old man takes the food as well as your map. He takes a piece of charcoal and begins to draw on it. He points to where you are now, and also marks the sites of the mine and prison colony where the Lizard King lives. Just as you're about to climb down the vine, the old man says, "And for just a little bit more of your delicious food, I'll give you something really useful." Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll give him more provisions. Why not? Okay, I probably should not be giving away all my provisions, but yeah, what's really useful? The old man pulls out a piece of bent wire out of his pocket and proudly hands it to you. He sees the puzzled expression on your face and explains, "It's a picklock's wire, and I used it to unlock my leg irons before escaping from the mines. It might come in handy if you are captured." Okay, thanks, buddy. You thank the old man and climb down the vine and continue northwest. Hacking your way through the plants and shrubs, you become aware of a buzzing sound above you. Hovering over you is a colorful but threatening shape of a giant dragonfly. Its iridescent wings beating fast, yet keeping the dragonfly perfectly still. Suddenly it plunges down to attack you. Kinda wish I hadn't given away all my provisions now. Alright, it has very little stamina, but it's not nothing on skill. Alright, what do we got? Alright, good solid hit. Let's see if we can do one more. Just take this guy out immediately. I think that's looking pretty good for us. Yes. And we win. Close to where the giant dragonfly now lies in a crumpled heap, you see a patch of clam-shaped fungus attached to a rotting log. Why in God's name would I want to eat that? Do you wish to eat some of the fungus? No! I've been specifically told that this whole island is full of poisonous and carnivorous and dangerous plants, and it's attached to a rotting log, so the log didn't like it. No, I'm not eating that at all. You decide that you have gone far enough northwest to avoid the headhunter's village and begin to cut your way directly west through the jungle. You have not gone far when you're surprised to enter a small clearing completely free of vegetation. A large green crystal lies in the center of the clearing, glowing and radiating heat. Oh dear. What will you do? To walk around the crystal and continue southwest, or we can touch the crystal, or we can try to chip off a piece of the crystal with our sword. Neither of those options sound good. But why don't we address that in the next episode? We'll pick up Island of the Lizard King next time. Until then, I'm Dave. Thank you, as always, for joining me in the wee hours, and we'll see you next time.